Alright, so the fourth entry in DC's new cinematic universe, Supergirl, has finally hit theaters. Of course, I've already seen it and have some thoughts. First off, as most of the internet has already told you, it's not perfect. The visuals are horrible, the script is questionable, and the screenplay fundamentally doesn't understand the book it's adapting. That being said, I actually had a fun time with the film. Millie Alcock and the other actors all turned in good performances, and the movie does get a few purposeful laughs throughout. However, there is one scene that the entire internet has agreed just doesn't work. Spoilers from here on. In the climax of the film, Kara, Ruthie, and Lobo confront the brigands in a final assault. After destroying the brigand ship, the battle continues on the ground. Lobo leaves, Kara is occupied saving prisoners on the about-to-explode ship, and Ruthie is surrounded. Things are not looking good. Thankfully, Kara manages to muster up the strength she needs to save the women trapped in the crashing ship, and join Ruthie for the final confrontation. This leads to a slow-motion action sequence in which Kara defeats the brigands to a cover of Jimmy Eats World's The Middle, sung by Kelty Gray and Kid Motel.
It just takes some time, and I'll be in the middle of the ride.
Now, no matter what you think of the film, this needle drop just doesn't work. I want to stress here that this is not a hit piece of Kelty Gray and the Kid Motel. They've been very vocal about bullying online, and I'm not trying to contribute to that. The cover itself is fine, but it doesn't work in the film for 4 simple reasons. Reason number 1, it's too on the nose. Audiences hate when you treat them like they're stupid. While AI has eroded media comprehension beyond repair, most moviegoers can still infer the meaning behind a needle drop in an action sequence. I've seen many people pointing out online that the song technically fits the message of Ruthie and Kara's emotional journey, seeing as they're both no longer stuck in the middle. And to that I say, yeah, the lyrics literally say everything will be alright. It just takes some time, and don't write yourself off yet. It's not that deep. The connection to the film is pretty blatant, which is why people don't like it. The audience doesn't need to be sung to about the film's emotional climax. They should be able to infer that message from what's happening on screen and in the story. Reason number 2. The song doesn't match the tone or vibe of the film. Throughout the entire movie, we've seen this as a more grounded, gritty superhero tale. Each time Kara plays her own music, it's either punk or rock. Yes, I know it's because she's crashing out, but happy people still listen to rock and roll. You can't tell me for 1 second that this version of Kara would add this cover of The Middle to her playlist. Maybe Clark, but not Kara. Especially when the movie ends by doubling down on her dark side and having her kill Prem. This soft, slow cover of the song simply doesn't match the character or tone we've established. Additionally, the marketing promised something different from the song choices. Now, please be aware that the people who market the movie and make the trailers are not usually the same people who make the movie. I'm aware of this. Trailers are usually edited by specific companies called trailer houses. That's how sometimes terrible movies have amazing trailers, or amazing movies have terrible trailers. Fun fact, 2016's Suicide Squad was edited by a trailer house, which is why that movie makes you want to throw up when you watch it. Anyways, the marketing for this movie prominently featured Call Me by Blondie and What Becomes of the Broken Hearted by Jimmy Ruffin. Honestly, both of these songs fit the film better than the cover of The Middle. Call Me is a song about a woman taking charge of her own persona and emotional availability, which would have fit well for this sequence. I don't think What Becomes of the Broken Hearted would necessarily have fit the scene in question. However, it still matches the themes of the film, singing about those left behind by catastrophic loss, like Kara and Ruthie. Either of these songs would have better fit the tone, characters, and message of the film than what we got. Reason number 3, It is so disrespectful that the movie about a female lead had to use the cursive cover. For those of you who have never heard of that term before, a cursive cover is internet speak for a slowed down, softer cover of a traditionally fast and loud song. The fact that this movie, directed by a man, chose to use this cover speaks volumes about the creative's view of women and their musical choices. It reminds me a lot of when Doctor Who made everything crystalline and fairy princess aesthetic during Jodie Whittaker's seasons as the Doctor. I don't know who needs to hear this, but it truly undermines the seriousness of the female-centric stories they're trying to tell. Would you have used this cover in a Superman movie? Probably not. The use of this cursive cover makes the audience laugh every time. This isn't a good thing when you're trying to establish a serious character. Girls can rock out too. It is so exhausting that the girls have to always get the soft and quiet songs. They could have just used the original version of this song. Then, you still get the on-the-nose message of the song, but avoid the laughability of the cover used in the movie. Friend of the channel Morgan M. Steele even suggested that if the filmmakers really felt they needed to use this cursive cover, why not both? Start the sequence in slow-mo from Ruthie's POV with the cursive version, before speeding up to the original rock version when we follow Kara kicking butt. Honestly, I think this is a pretty good choice, since it would have illustrated Ruthie's coming to moment while also showing that Kara hasn't lost her edge, as we see at the end of the movie. Reason number 4. Needle drops are supposed to mean something. When you include a song in a movie or action sequence, it usually has a reason to be there. For example, the use of Fleetwood Mac's The Chain during Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2's finale perfectly reflects Star-Lord's toxic relationship with his father and his found family in the Guardians. James Gunn has repeatedly said that the song was always in the film's original screenplay. Meanwhile, the creatives behind this movie are actively passing the blame for this cover among themselves in interviews. Clearly, there was no vision. The screenplay may not have even included a song at all, purely a poor choice in production. If that wasn't bad enough, director Craig Gillespie has said that they tried 45 different songs for this sequence before landing on this cover of the middle. If you have to try 45 times to find a song you like for this sequence, maybe it wasn't made to be presented in this way. Additionally, I avoid participating in conspiracy theories, but Gillespie claims that it was James Gunn who picked this cover of the middle. And I'm sorry, I don't believe that for 1 second. You're telling me the king of dad rock himself picked this cursive song? Not a chance. Clearly, it was a very last-minute decision, and they just threw everything at the wall until something stuck. It's clear that aside from totally re-editing the scene, they should have just tried it with an instrumental score. Many superhero movies allow the score to tell the story. Think of the climaxes of The Avengers, The Batman, or Superman. Not every movie needs a needle drop, especially if it takes you 45 tries and this is the best you can come up with. So, that's why the song and chosen cover just don't work for this movie. It truly undermines what should be a triumphant moment, making audiences giggle instead. Again, this is not a hit piece for Kelty Gray and Kid Motel. Please leave them alone. The cover itself is fine, but it doesn't work in the film because the song treats the audiences like they're stupid, doesn't fit the tone, perpetuates the idea that girls are soft and gentle, and meant nothing to the filmmakers. But those are just my thoughts. The movie is out. Feel free to watch it and form your own opinions if you haven't already. I personally just thought the character and story deserved better. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. If you liked what you saw here and want to see more, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell so you know when that next one's coming. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.